Welcome back to the channel. My name is Austin Engelhardt. I've been running ads for e-commerce brands for about 8 years at this point. Manage over $200 million in spend. If I didn't personally manage it, my creatives were used to help scale brands to that hundreds of millions of dollars mark. Today we're going to go through exactly how to write killer meta ad scripts. I have the entire breakdown of exactly what not to do, what to do, and how you can apply these key components into your scripts to get people to actually watch and click and buy your product. All right, this is exactly why most ad scripts flop. They fail because the script is weak, right? Of course, this is the framework that all the production is going to be, combined with. So if you don't have great copy, you don't have a great script that's actually going to invoke emotion, everything else doesn't really matter. Everyone says that the first few seconds of the actual ad are extremely important. I agree with that with the visual hook and, of course, the script hook, whether it's the headline on the actual ad or it's going to be the first thing that the talent is going to say. They're extremely important. The script is arguably the most important component to making a winning ad. How are you going to resonate? How are you going to invoke emotion? And then what is the hook going to be to actually capture that attention and resonate with the audience? This is why script writing actually matters. So 80% of the performance happens before the filming. All the filming is doing is basically making the script come to life. You understand what the script does. It's all of what has to happen in this concept, but in a very laid out, organized way. So if the production doesn't match what the script is trying to convey, the whole thing falls apart. It doesn't make sense. That's why the scripting is going to, allow you to create the story, allow you to combine the emotion with the selling of your product to then get somebody to purchase your product and, of course, get sales, scale the product, scale the ads. Everything starts with the script. Everything starts with exactly what you're writing in that script. Talking head versus the explaining your pain points versus solution, right? So a talking head is basically what I'm doing right now. You're saying, I love this product, I love this cup, and, this is why you should get it. I got it because of this reason. I love it so much. That's boring. The talking head is more of a format, but that is boring. If you explain pain points and solution, that's going to invoke emotion, explain, some credibility of the product. It's going to give people a bigger reason to actually get this product, buy this product, watch the rest of the actual ad. So you could say, I love this product, this is so amazing. Or you could say, I'm tired of cups that won't keep my drink cold. It won't keep my drink warm. I'm sitting here working for 8 hours, 10 hours a day. I have to get up and down to go get new water. My coffee's cold. It's brutal. But then I found this. I've been searching all over for a cup that actually makes sense. I found this. I was on Amazon. They didn't have anything. I spent thousands of dollars. I went to Williams-Sonoma, went to Bed Bath & Beyond, every store that sells cups, and nothing compared to this. And it's crazy because they're doing a buy two, get one sale right now. And so now I just stocked up my kitchen. It's completely stocked. I'm not even, doing the dishes anymore. I don't have time to do the dishes. So now that's what I got. So basically, that is explaining pain points and solutions versus just a talking head explaining the product, which is relatively boring. You need to, convey emotion here, which is what I'm, try to do with that cup scenario. Just a regular cup from IKEA. But this is the scripting framework. So the first 3 seconds are the hook. What are you going to say? I'll get right into that. I'll give you a bunch of examples. So that is what's going to, capture the attention initially. That's what the customer or the consumer is going to scroll and then see. Then, of course, the problem. What are they dealing with? What are you going to solve, right? What is a problem that your audience deals with on a day-to-day basis or whatever frequency it is? And then what are you going to introduce to solve that problem? So hook, problem, solution. You're going to introduce your product. The proof, like I said, I've been using these for so long. I've spent $1,000 testing different cups. And now, I stocked my entire kitchen is filled with these cups. So some credibility, some proof, some reviews if you have, and then a call to action. So my call to action was they're doing a buy two, get one free right now. And my kitchen's stocked of these. You could do a simple call to action, I got these for 30% off. They're doing this type of sale. They sold out before. They might sell it again. It's a simple way to get people to take action immediately. What is the offer? That goes into I made a different video about that. What's your actual offer? But of course, end it with a call to action. Here's some mistakes. Like I said before, if you start with I love this product, it doesn't give much people to go off of unless your product is like different and catchy. But I wouldn't even touch I love this product. It's boring. No one cares. Why should I care? If you love the product, I don't really care. If it's going to solve my problem, I care much more, right? Another thing you should, of course, avoid is writing like a commercial, not a conversation. Every ad should be like you're talking to a friend on FaceTime, or you're messaging them, you're texting them, bro, I just got this cup, dude. This thing is insane, bro. I don't have to get up anymore from my desk. My coffee tastes arguably the most delicious it's ever had. And, you know, I'm obsessed with this cup, dude. I mean, I just got you a few, actually. I shipped them over to your house because you're going to be just as obsessed as I am. Like, that is so much more intriguing than, you know, you won't believe how great this cup is. It's, you know, people are just freaking out about this cup. And then it's like a commercial and no one cares, right? Like, it's just like, you know, from a time when there was cups that didn't have, you know, that couldn't keep a drink cold. And you have to write like you're actually speaking to a friend, an organic type of post. You know, how would you explain that on TikTok? How would you post about it, right? Even if you're not making content, you still know, you know, what people are saying on TikTok about different products, how they're explaining a TikTok shop product. Feature dumping instead of just the hooks, right? So I said all the emotional benefits of this cup, right? It keeps it, you know, relatively at a great temperature. You know, you're obsessed with it. I've spent so much money on other cups. They're all in the garbage now. As opposed to, this cup is great. It doesn't scratch. It looks great. It sits well. And, you know, it has a nice lip thing for you know, it's a nice texture, right? I don't really care. I don't care about that. If it doesn't do anything for me and I'm just hearing about the product, I don't really care. I want to hear some emotion involved from the talent. What is the person saying about this? How does it affect their life? For example, whenever you go to a restaurant, you typically ask the waiter, well, what do you like? You don't even know that person, but you're asking them, what's your opinion? What do you think about this? Would you get the steak? And they're like, you know, I might get this. And then you probably order what they like, and you don't even know who they are. You don't know them. You might have just met them for the first time. So if you're listening to the waiter about what you should eat, you're going to listen to somebody else about their experience with a product that you might really want. And then I just saw Alex Hormozi on Logan Paul's podcast talking about how he only speaks like a fifth grader, right? He uses very small words. Do more of this, that's great. Don't do more of this. Do less of this, that's also, you know, you should do that to improve these type of things, right? Don't do this, do this. You need more of this, you need less of this. That's how business owners typically understand things. Like, no one wants to really, or humans in general, no one really wants to hear complicated words, annoying things, and like, oh yeah, no, this is way too fast paced and you're using big words. I don't really want to hear that. I want to hear if something's good, what the person thinks about it, what it can do for me in the most simple ways possible. That's kind of it. So remove all of the big words. Don't use the thesaurus. Typically, if you have a script and it has some big words, throw in a ChatGPT, say dumb it down, and use that instead. Example breakdown. Here are hooks for so many scripts that we're writing right now, and you can interchange these with your product, with your category, anything. These are like basically foolproof scripts, hooks that you can write an entire script off of. So these are the hooks. I'll go through these, and then I'll go through example scripts based off of these, exactly how to write them. So the first one is 3 reasons moms are loving this pillow. So you have a pillow, and of course you're selling to moms. So what are the 3 reasons that moms are loving this, right? So you're going to get into that. What baristas don't want you to know. What are baristas hiding? They must be hiding something about a coffee alternative product. Is it a mushroom coffee? Is it something about a tea? What is it? What are they hiding from us, even though they're working at a coffee shop? They're very credible in this scenario. Why families are ditching grocery store laundry detergent. Families typically care about their children, health, the microplastics, what they put in their body or are on, the family's body. So what's in laundry detergent that is so bad, right? Why are they ditching that laundry detergent? It tells you a lot in just a few words. Did you know 50% of laundry detergents have microplastics? So this is more of a stat and something that's a little bit scary. So a scare tactic, right? So no one wants microplastics. Everyone's trying to avoid that. But 50% of laundry detergents have those microplastics. So we need to avoid that, right? So did you know? And then you go into, I didn't know this. And then, all these big brands blur the logos, a whole explainer. The truth about blank. So the truth about shower towels, right? So I'm assuming there's tons of bacteria on shower towels. This would work well for that Clean Skin Club, that brand that, it's like the the disposable, makeup wipes or the face cleaning wipes. Shower towels have so much bacteria that you need an alternative, right? So great for a towel brand that either, it's easy to wash or it gets rid of bacteria, or a blue light company. Here's another one. So pillowcases have more bacteria than a toilet seat. Google said this is true, which would be insane. I kind of believe it because when you go out, if you don't shower, you lay down, you put your head in the pillow, and then your face is all the bacteria. But, regardless, the question mark saves you, and you don't have to, it kind of transfers the liability. But question mark can do a lot of things if you question it instead of saying it as a complete certain statement. So pillowcases have more bacteria than toilet seat. I don't know. Do they? I'm going to explain exactly if they do or don't and how you can clean your pillowcases. Here are the script examples. So to the first one. 3 reasons moms are loving this pillow. I kept seeing this pillow all over my feed and I finally bought it. Now I get why every mom is obsessed. Reason 1, it's adjustable. I took out some of the filling and it perfectly supports my neck. Neck pain is a huge pain point. No more waking up with a sore neck. Reason 2, it's washable. The entire pillow can go in the wash, which is a lifesaver when kids sneak into my bed. Reason 3, I'm actually sleeping better. I fall asleep faster and I wake up feeling actually rested. Over 10,000 5-star reviews. So if you've been seeing this pillow everywhere, this is your sign to try it. So call to action there. There's a reason right here where if your kids, so obviously you're selling to mothers, the kids sneak into bed, they throw the crayons or the Play-Doh or something and it ruins the pillow, or they have food on their face. And there's multiple qualifiers in here that show that you are selling to moms. Let's go to the next one, which could be a coffee alternative brand. It's called XYZ Coffee. What baristas don't want you to know. They're not drinking regular coffee anymore. They've switched to a mushroom coffee alternative called XYZ Coffee. It's made for clean focus and calm energy, less caffeine, but more sustained clarity. No jitters, no crash halfway throughout the day. It also supports skin health from the inside out. So you're not just getting focus. You're actually doing something good for your body. And the best part, it doesn't taste like those earthy, muddy mushroom drinks. It's smooth, rich, and genuinely delicious. Baristas are keeping this one to themselves for a reason. But try XYZ Coffee and see why so many are making the switch. Qualifying, explains how they're hiding it, explains what the product does. Everyone's switching this. People are not drinking regular coffee anymore. I love this script. If you have a coffee alternative brand, test this one out. Here's another one. Another 2. Why families are ditching grocery store laundry detergent. So most people don't realize how much filler and harsh chemicals are packed into these big plastic jugs. They're heavy, messy, and wasteful. And most of what you're paying for is just for water. Families are switching to XYZ laundry sheets instead. They're lightweight, pre-measured sheets that dissolve instantly in hot or cold water. No mess, no plastic, and no, you can read the rest. So basically we're going into the safer, sensitive skin, babies on the planet. This is also qualifying for a family. So once you try, you never go back to those big bulky bottles. And then everyone, of course, is making the switch right now. Did you know 50% of laundry detergents contain microplastics? Those tiny particles end up in your clothes, your skin, and eventually the ocean. So we're caring about multiple, different things here. Of course, your clothes, of course, your body first, but then of course the ocean, because a lot of laundry sheet brands are mentioning this quality as well. Every wash releases thousands of microplastics that never break down. That's why more people are switching to XYZ laundry sheets. They're completely plastic-free and made with clean, biodegradable ingredients. No harsh chemicals, no residue, and no plastic waste. They come in pre-measured sheets that dissolve instantly in hot or cold water, lightweight, easy to store, and gentle on both skin and fabrics. Traditional detergents pollute every load. XYZ laundry sheets clean without the compromise. A small change that can make a huge difference for your clothes and the planet. So you could also add a call to action here. They're doing this type of deal. It's 50% off, buy one, get one. You can add your offer at the end. But this is typically how to write scripts. It's very simple, very straightforward, but make sure each line you can film a clip for a B-roll shot, right? So if you're saying plastic-free made with clean biodegradable ingredients, you can show a bunch of plastic getting broken. You can show a bunch of things getting cut up with the jugs. You can throw the jugs being thrown out into the garbage can. I mean, every single shot you should be able to make a B-roll clip for, just so it flows better. It captures the attention, it holds the attention, and there's just a new clip constantly. So, you can explain exactly what's happening, as opposed to someone just sitting there holding the product, talking about it. You need B-roll to match basically everything. And then you'll cut back and forth. The writing process and the tips. So, like I did before, you're going to write 3 to 5 hooks before finalizing and actually writing a script based off of one, right? So, you're going to test a few of them first. Like I had here, it was 3 reasons, what they don't want you to know, why X are ditching blank, did you know this, the truth about this. So then you're going to take those hooks and you're going to pull language from the customer reviews. So whether it's on your site, your reviews, Amazon with another competitor in the same category, another product in the same category, but you're going to see what people are saying. Read Reddit as well. And you're going to take that language. Of course, you could post into ChatGPT or just understand what people are saying. And then you're going to write the scripts based off the hooks, but use what people are saying, using what your customer base is actually talking about. How are you going to resonate with them? So you typically, with their language. And you keep the sentences under 10 words just so it flows better, so you can have a more dramatic emphasis on certain words and it just flows well. And then, of course, each of these scripts is going to be 45 seconds to a minute. If you want to do long form, of course, you can expand the script. You want to do short form and, just a very short, testimonial, of course, it could be shorter. Typically, this is the sweet spot. This is what we're seeing work, and you can just pump these out if it's 45 seconds to a minute, because you can reuse B-roll. You can, have talents say different scripts, and you can have multiple talents say the same script. It works very well with this time frame. And then, of course, you're going to test different openings around the same core idea. So if you have, 3 reasons why moms are loving blank, you can do, moms are ditching this, and, here's exactly why. Here's 3 myths about blank that moms are just found out. So it could be different hooks, but the same core script. Definitely worth testing. So great ads resonate with the audience. This starts, of course, with the scripting. Hopefully this helps. And you can write killer scripts and you can, really scale your brand to the craziest revenue of all time, right? But if you want us to make your ads, go to the link below, makeWinningAds.com. We'll hop on a call and we'll talk very soon. We'll go over exactly how we make all the creatives from A to Z, the casting, scripting, strategy, all the editing, and we deliver a finished product every single week. Every Friday you get a round of creatives. So makeWinningAds.com. Talk very soon. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it.